Call the meeting to order. Terry, if you let the minutes reflect that all board members are present. And if everyone would take a look at the consent calendar and minutes, any additions, corrections to either? Hearing none immediately, we have a motion to accept the consent calendar as written.
I move that we accept it.
A second?
I'll second. You go follow that again.
Jim Westmoreland,
Yes.
Lisa Snodgrass,
Yes.
Charlie Shoemaker,
Yes.
Jeff Clem,
Yes.
Dean Moberg.
Yes. Moving on to new business. Nice to see some visitors tonight. Ron, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Anyone in the audience wish to say anything to the board?
I got something to say, but I'd rather have you conduct your business.
No, that's on the way we run.
There was nothing else on the agenda.
Yeah.
No.
later.
But as we go through, to participate, any individual here has up to 15 minutes to speak. Or actually 2 minutes, 15 minutes in our meeting, so.
10 minutes over.
We have items to discuss later on, which I plan on talking about our High Prairie visit.
Yeah, well, I've never been to one. I just was seeing now what's going on. That basically, what I, got to present to the board. And I can present it right now.
I want you to get 2 minutes and do it.
Well, my whole qualm is that, all the assets supposed to go over, be combined in from the contract 10 years from the start of this district. And maybe it's been modified, the contract, maybe it's been modified. I don't know, but according to Rick there, that it's 2004 is when they're gonna combine it over. Well, my question is, when and where and why did they modify it? And has it been modified in any minutes of the meeting? Who voted on it, who seconded it? I'm just asking, because my understanding is, it was 2003 is when they started taking tax out. And 2003, to my understanding, you can't take tax out and then a year later say, okay, boys, we're going to sign her up and we're going down the road. So I'm not headhunting or anything, but I just, as a taxpayer, I just want to know, was it modified? Why was it modified? Is what, because I got an interest in it, as far as that goes. I got 7 grandkids, I got cattle, I got hogs, I got chickens, I got barns. I want to know where my tax money is, and I just want to know, because I talked to Mr. Westmoreland, I don't know if he remembers me talking
Yeah, I
to him a while back, and you said, when you called me back, you said 2004, well, I let it go, and then I had a little time, and I got a tax thing out, and I said, let me see this. So on the 2002 taxes, there's no fire district. On 2003, fire district. I called the county treasurer. County treasurer said, well, let me look it up. Looked it up and said 2003 is when they started taking out. Now, if there's something in the contract, what it says, or been modified, on down the line, then that's fine. But I want to know why, or, how come 11 years,
Okay.
That's
Thank you, John. I believe we're going to talk about some of this tonight with the interlocal agreement and properties anyway, so thank you very much. Ron?
Yeah, and my question is I'm trying to learn more about the budgeting and where the dollars are going as I look at the different things in the city as we start our comprehensive plan. And so I looked at the budget that was in the minutes, and then just confused of why, A, there's no forecast in there for the fourth quarter. B, trying to understand whether the equipment reserve fund is targeted to be used this year or not. Because if it is, then at present, my calculations, we're at 81.5% of our budget with 3 months left to go. Straight math, we should be at 75%. But again, can't confirm or deny that because it doesn't show that in any of the minutes in terms of forecasting. So just trying to understand that and wonder if there is a source or an extended ledger that shows the forecasting on each line item and where the money's going and where it's forecasted to go.
Couple of things, I would say, because we're not really doing discussion right now, but after the meeting, talking to Jim, our treasurer, we go by costs per month, et cetera. Might be 50% of our budget gone by February, might be 75% by November. But it's a line which Jim's been very good about putting together for us. Equipment reserve, we have some purchases coming up, and I think talking to Jim after the meeting might be very informative.
And I think I talked to you on the phone earlier today, or I talked.
No, it was me.
That was you, okay. So, and that was a suggestion you had, and I plan to do that too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You bet. We're going to be here after the meeting, too. All right. Chief's report.
The only thing I have to add is last Monday, we received a substantial portion of our Homeland Security request that we made in 2009. It's only 2013, but hey, we finally got it. It's for our confined space equipment. We received about $43,000 worth of equipment, and we're still holding up on probably another $5,000 worth to get it going. So, but
Did we know we were going to get that?
Yes. Yeah, we fought for it very hard. We go to a meeting, I go to a meeting every quarter, and we fight from the Casey Metro area, Leavenworth, Johnson, and Wyandotte counties. His money's put in one pool, and all the police departments, all the fire departments.
Did we know the amounts we were going to get?
Yes.
Did we know when we were going to be
No.
distributed?
No.
Okay.
We've already received 2011 funding, but that was a simpler, we had a much smaller request, so it's a fight, it's a grant that we fight for every year, and Leavenworth County's done fairly decently in this process, so
So have we been
we
approved
will
for
be audited.
2010 and 2010?
Yes, the equipment we just received is going to be audited here next month.
I mean, did we receive funding in 2010 as well? Because we got some in 2011, we've already been paid for.
No, we did not put in for any money in 2012, but we did, or 2010, we got this. 2011, we didn't put it, 2011, we got money. 2012, we didn't put anything in for anything. In 2013, we put in for another $20,000, and we got that. But we won't get that until 2014. Homeland Security runs several years behind.
After the first year.
Well, it's when Homeland Security decides.
So that's going in where? Equipment reserve?
No, that's equipment. That's not money. We
To actually acquire.
Yeah, we actually get equipment, and that's what we've gotten over the last, since 2004, we've gotten about $250,000, $260,000 with equipment. And it's audited, and it's, every year they come in, and we're gonna pick, this year, find the equipment we gave you this year. We never know what year they're gonna ask for, so it's audited.
And sadly, as Rick says, look on the shelf out there, there's $43,000 worth of equipment that's not functional because we don't have it all yet. So, until it comes, additional, about 15,000
Yeah, about
worth
about 10,000, 15, yeah.
to give us what we need to
Give us
make
the
it
functional equipment. But we're getting closer.
Okay, good.
So you can't pull out of a equipment reserve
We can,
for
but,
that 15?
yeah, but we
and
don't
then
want to.
refund the equipment
Yeah,
reserve
Jamie
with it?
Miller just did that, and you don't want to do that.
Is there legal issues with it?
Yeah, you don't get paid back.
All right,
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, the
If
federal government has their
you
rules.
don't get theirs, is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
the federal government has their rules.
We
and-
use ours, we
Yeah,
don't need
you have to go
theirs.
by the
Thank you.
steps.
We
So it's
got-
okay to
It
have
let them-
takes a
That
while.
close.
equipment
Yeah.
sitting on a shelf not being utilized?
Yeah, as long as they can find it. Yeah. But it's Homeland Security, and we play the game, and we get equipment though. And we get it put on the trucks, and there's some departments that keep the stuff in boxes, and they'll come back and collect it, so they're starting to get real good. But we did good this year.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right, items for action. Third quarter treasurer's report.
I'll give each one of you a copy to look over. I went through all of the three system of records, and as usual, they're in real good order, very well documented. All the transactions are supported by vouchers, different kind of vouchers. I continue to feel confident that our system is sound in conducting financial transactions. The Chief and I discussed the expenditures and deposits. Overall, expenditures from January to September are actually about 4.96% under straight line. We budget by straight line, and straight line, of course, is 75%, 9 months out of 12. We're doing real well. Out of that 70.04% straight line expenditures, the personnel item is roughly 7% under straight line. And the non-salary line items are 13.27 under. So we, right now, have some funding available under straight line if we need some more contingency funds. We never know in the fire department when we're going to have to spend money for emergencies or contingencies, simply by nature of the operation. Nobody knows, can control when a fire is going to break out or whatever. So, I continue to feel that Chief Hunt's doing a great job in the detailed day-to-day keeping of the budget expenditures and the system of records. And here again, I commend him for the job he's doing.
Jim, are we under that much with personnel because of less overtime, or why is that?
We're under personnel because of the health insurance issues.
Oh,
We
okay.
don't have, we've got so many different policies out there that we straight lined, and we were able to pay a little here, pay a little there. This guy's not paying, this guy's with his wife. So we were able to save on that
Okay.
issue. That's the biggest issue, is the health insurance.
Now, of course,
Like yours?
Yes.
all my figures are based on last month's statement, which was complete through September. But looking at the statement for this month that we had, that include October, we're still going to be in real good shape, running about 7% under based on, and that includes a few expenditures under personnel for November. So I think we have a little bit of reserve in that we're under straight line in case we need it. Any questions?
It's probably just fair to make the statement, we did go back and take a historical look at 2 years, because there was quite a bit of pushing on forecasting, mostly from me. But it was after we looked at 2 years of historical trend, we really found that the fluctuations were 2 to 4%. And the amount of energy went into doing the forecasting, it just didn't warrant it. And it was, because I felt that we needed to be doing the same thing, but it was after Jim kind of pointed out that the fluctuations are so minimal. We did look at a historical 2 years worth of data and found that to be true, so just a little FYI. Yeah.
And one of the big things we also do is, we don't make big purchases early in the year. I wait till the end of the year to make big purchases. That way, if something comes up, then we don't have to go, we can't steal money from street department or public works, we're it, so.
And those are
if we run-
identified.
If we ran out of money, then we ran out of money, so I wait till the end of the year to make any big purchases.
That's the reason we can operate by straight line, because we have, we get all our tax money and everything, and we have a reserve savings account in addition to equipment reserve. So, we can just throttle a little money out of that savings account if we have a big contingency that we can't cover by any little savings along the line.
Thank you, Jim. Any other questions? If not, motion to accept third quarter treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion, we accept the treasury report as printed.
Motion, to have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded.
Jim Westmoreland,
Yes.
Lisa Snodgrass.
Yes.
Charlie Shoemaker,
Yes.
Jeff Clem,
Yes.
Dean Moberg.
Yes. Moving on to 4B, replacement tires on 563. You look, 4B agenda item there. 3 bids were procured, Platte City Tire, Shore, and Cross Midwest. Close, but look at it, we do have a winner. And to date, we still have not sold the other tires.
No.
Okay.
We've got them on several different websites for a couple of different prices. And,
Are we asking too much, maybe?
well, it's down to 500, make an offer.
Oh, okay.
So,
No, I didn't know where you was at now.
yeah, we're down to 500, make an offer, so.
Are you familiar with all 3 of these bidders?
Yeah, we bought,
Are they very reputable?
we've done purchases with all 3 of them before. And we did send out a bid to Tire Town locally, and they did not respond, so.
And you're happy with the quality of tire?
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are all American-made tires, because China is flooding the market now with cheap tires. It's with this trailer we had, got from Homeland Security, came with Chinese tires, and they've all blown out already. So we're not, these are all American-made. These are Bridgestone, Firestone. These 2, the tires we're looking to buy here.
Anyone else on the board heard of Duracell tires?
Yeah, so that's another one.
It's
So,
first for me, too.
yeah.
It was in any other discussion? If not, we need a motion to pick one of our bids here for purchase of tires.
Well, I move that we go with Cross Midwest, if Rick thinks they're all pretty well equal vendors and quality of tire.
Yeah, those are Bridgestone steer tires and Firestone drive tires.
Well, I recommend we award the contract or procurement action to Cross Midwest.
Jim, would you state the amount, too? State the amount, too, please.
Oh.
Motion.
For the amount of $3,329.52.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second the motion. Nobody wants a second?
Jim Westmoreland,
Yes.
Lisa Snodgrass,
Yes.
Charlie Shoemaker,
Yes.
Jeff Clem,
Yep.
Dean Moberg.
Yes.
Yep.
Moving on to 4C, the resolution 2013-14 treasurer bond. Everyone familiar with the, I know Jim is very familiar, but resolution and the county attorneys, et cetera, agreed upon the $50,000 amount. We beat this horse pretty much to death, but if there's any discussion on this,
I think we're about as legal as we can get now.
we've had 15
Well,
opinions.
This resolution, if the board approves it, allows us, the department, to go and purchase the bond and pay the insurance company any fee for it, and of course, maintain the bond. So if we approve this tonight, then Rick and I can take action to provide the input information to the insurance company that will generate the final copy of the bond. And this has all been coordinated with the county treasurer, the county board of trustees and council, and all that, so they approved it. So I think got it all wrapped up legally and county government was.
Okay.
2 questions on that.
Yes.
One is now, this is gonna be a yearly incurred deal, right? Every year. We're gonna
Well,
have
this
to
bond is for me.
I understand, I said, but every year, we're gonna have to renew
gonna have to
the
renew.
bond.
Yes.
Pay the
And
premium, yes.
That was one question. and I thought that's the way it is. Otherwise, it just rotates over every year, we just pay the bill. I mean, so then does it come back with the $50,000, no matter what it costs? Do we have to put out bids to, we don't?
No.
Okay, that was my second thing.
No.
Well,
No, it's under $15,000, so we do not have to bid it.
Okay.
And it's a service.
I just, now that we went so much legal stuff, I just wanted to make sure the very ending was,
Anything
Well,
that
it's supposed to be.
anything that is a service, we technically do not have to bid.
Okay.
But we do bid our audit and our accounting fees since it does get up there, but.
and that starts when, from the date?
Whenever
No,
we get,
it's not a
whenever
physical
Ryder
year.
can get us the bond going and.
Right, it's not like a January to January, it's
No,
whenever
it's,
you,
yeah, it's when they issue.
and then it
to
would
when
be
they issue.
renewed on that following anniversary, no
Right.
matter what. Okay.
Is it transferable?
say again?
Is it transferable?
As long as the new treasurer passes the bond requirements. I mean, we had one treasurer at one time, they would not bond. So.
And what, do we have a price yet on this?
No, we do not.
So
The
we're
steps
just,
involved in this is we submit through Riley to travelers this input information.
Okay.
Travelers will analyze it and send us a questionnaire on how we operate. And that's what they will use to assess the risk. And assess, which is what they use to determine the premium on $50,000.
so the motion
We
is to
send that
accept the
questionnaire
starting
back?
process.
To approve resolution number 2013-4.
It's not to approve the price of it, we just have to discuss
The
that.
resolution, we'll talk,
Yeah.
that's separate,
Right.
totally.
Good.
So any other discussion? If not, do we have a motion to go with resolution 2013-4 and proceed with our bond issues?
Well, since I have a vested interest, I move that we accept resolution number 2013-4 for the purpose of proceeding with procurement of a surety bond for the treasurer, the board treasurer.
I second that.
And the bond will be in the notes. Okay, motion and second.
Jim Westmoreland,
Yes.
Lisa Snodgrass.
Yes.
Charlie Shoemaker,
Yes,
Jeff Clem,
Yes.
Dean Moberg.
Yes. Okay, moving on to items for discussion. Proposed budget amendment.
Okay, we had talked previously about doing a budget amendment since we did sell the truck earlier this year and we're getting some additional funding in from the county. I'm going to work with Steve Wagner on Wednesday, going to meet with him. We will come up with a figure to give you all as a resolution or a budget amendment. It'll have to be published just like we did our regular budget. You guys will do that in the December meeting, December 2nd. It'll be somewhere around $25,000, in that range. If we don't get $25,000 extra, of course, we can't spend it. So we're going to put a max on it because we won't know what we're going to get totally until the end of December, until we get that money from the county. So once we do that budget amendment, and we're going to amend putting it into the equipment fund, because we can't budget money into the equipment reserve, the state law won't let us, so we're going to just budget to the equipment fund. At the end of the year, then we'll come back to you guys and say, okay, we've got so much money left over, we'll transfer it to the equipment reserve. That being said, I've talked to Pam and I've talked to Steve both. Neither one of them have a problem if we do this in the December 2nd meeting. We still won't know the amount because we're meeting so early now. So we can say in the resolution, we will transfer an amount not to exceed X amount of dollars, if you guys are agreeable with that. If not agreeable, then we'll have to come back and have a meeting late in December.
So council's recommending that?
Council said it was fine, and Wagner said it was fine, as long as we say a reasonable number. We can't say we're gonna, put in $200,000.
I think you're right, if we set it
Number.
25, 30,000,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be.
Well, it
bad.
won't be that much, I don't think, since we
No,
bought the
but
truck.
we're covered.
Yeah, we're gonna cover.
Up to
Yeah,
25,000.
Yeah, somewhere around in there. If you guys are agreeable, if not, then we'll have to have a meeting late December, and you know, we always do this in the second or third week anyway, but now we're meeting so early in
Yeah.
December, we don't have all the bills paid, and we can't transfer over to equipment reserve more money than we have, but we get in trouble that way, so this
So we
way
have
I
to
can
do
wait
it by
till.
the end of the year.
Yeah, it's gotta be done by the end of the year, because then, if not, then the auditor comes back and gets all nasty.
Well, if
We
they're
did
good
that
with
2
it,
years ago.
and we put up to a certain limit,
Yeah.
then we should be fine.
Yeah, so, and I'll let you guys know what we're recommending.
We'll have his resolution in next meeting.
If that's agreeable with you guys. If not, then we'll have
They
to come up
can
with a different plan.
make a recommendation on the amount as well, right?
Yes, yeah, Steve and I will work together on it.
Okay.
Okay, I do have one other discussion amendment or item. I received this today. This is in regard to transferring this building, what along with Don's talking about. Pam's been working on this since the verbiage is, it's legal verbiage, so she's gonna send this letter out to Dean today, but I had her fax it to me, and we got it today, so you guys can read this. The agreement we originally have with the state dating back to 1999 states that this building belongs to the state, the land it sits on belongs to the state, and it's leased to Delaware Township. Pam has talked with state's attorneys, and basically, short of saying the building belongs to us, they're going to be agreeable with about anything we want to do. So the agreement's got quite a few items in it. You know, if they want the building, they will buy it back from us if the state budgets money to do it. So that's something that probably needs to be changed. They're going to lease it to us. It's going to be a 99-year lease. So you guys look at this, look it over, and we'll talk about this in the December meeting, what we want to do. It's nothing we have to do right away. We're in the process of transferring this building over.
What was the last lease? I'm not gonna-
It's a 99-year lease that was formed in 99.
Well, they ain't been 99 years.
No, but it's leased to Delaware Township.
We're talking ownership of the building.
And the building right now is the state of Kansas, and we're still arguing with them, you know, the state of Kansas, it's the state of Kansas property. They're saying it's their building, and we argued with them back in 99, but that's, okay, let's get a building built, and that's when we started building this building, was in
Right, I see
99.
where he was going there with Delaware Township. not
Right,
the
and
first
we want to
line.
get we want to get at least the lease transferred over to District 1. If we can get the
Right.
building transferred over too.
I'm with you.
So the agreement's in there with you guys, read it over, make recommendations, get them back to me so we can have it all in one group, and we'll talk about it in the December meeting, and we're moving on towards, this is gonna be the only big issue we have. I talked to her today, transferring the trucks from Delaware to us is gonna be, just sign the titles over. That's no big deal. The
The
transferring.
equipment was 5 years, right? It's
Yeah,
already
the
done.
equipment's already done.
Yeah.
So we're looking at three trucks from Delaware to transfer over, and then High Prairie's building, which is just signing that over. High Prairie's knows they're gonna do that, so January 1st, we'll have everything pretty well ready to go, except for the lease on this building, and we'll get that straightened out. It was a muddled up mess 15 years ago, and it's really, you know, it kinda got set back, and we never really looked at it, because
There's something to consider. If the state owns the building, are they responsible for repairs?
no, that's brought out in there. The state owns the building, but we're responsible for repairs. So it was the state's,
They should have some responsibility.
yeah,
if
they
own
wrote
the
it up.
building.
They wrote it up.
Yeah.
And like I said, when they wrote it up, we was just glad to get it done, and so we can move on with a new building. So we took one step at a time, and it's basically the lease for the old building. Because it says the parking lot on the east side of the building, and they never really changed it. We tried then to get it changed, and they said, well, don't worry about it, it'll happen. And they forgot about it, I forgot about it, but here it is. We're gonna get it cleaned up now, so
And this originally was done in 98.
98, yes. We had to do all this to, the lease we had at the time, apparently was a 50-year lease, because we got a letter in 98 saying the lease was up, so now we made it a 99-year lease.
Okay.
So anyway, look at it, we'll get it going.
Could I have a copy of that?
It's It's probably a public record now, isn't it?
Did the state of Kansas pay for this building here?
No.
Or did Lansing, or did Township?
Delaware Township paid for it. Delaware Township paid for
So
it.
actually, you're saying the state's saying that they own the building too in Lansing. I don't see how they can say that.
Well, that's-
Most government entities are leasing land for 99 years.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can say that. they-
Right, and that's where we had the mix-up back then. The lease agreement is with the old building, basically, and we never got it straightened out. The state said, we'll fix it, and it never got fixed, and they got busy, we got busy, and now we're gonna try and clean it up.
So what's your, what's this board, what's the due date to sign this stuff over? According to your,
According to the interlocal agreement,
according to what's the
say
one?
January 4th?
January 1st.
1st, okay.
Yeah.
The original interlocal agreement, which I think you have a copy of, and which, to my knowledge,
Never
has
been
not
changed.
been
Has not
modified
been
at all. And again, questions if 98 is when things started up. Why is it 14, but
Well, that
Here
was
it is.
with this building, that was with Delaware Township in this building. This district started January 1st, 2004. The county started collecting taxes in 2003, but we officially opened the doors at Fire District 1, January 1st, 2004.
Yeah, but you can't.
We never received funding from the state or the county until January 20th of 2004. That was the first dollar we received from the state,
county.
from the county.
Right, because we don't collect taxes. They
Yeah, we don't collect taxes. So,
So it sounds
but anyway,
like,
everything's supposed to pop right
Well,
around
yeah,
January
I'm not-
1st this year.
I'm not-
sounds like his concern might be with the county more than
Yeah,
us.
Well,
Well,
yeah, because we never received any money until January 20th, 21st, whatever, of 2004.
Well, in 2003, according to the main one, that after January 1st, 2003, it states that all the equipment, some equipment goes over, okay? 2003, okay? Not
No,
2004.
2000, no, well,
Yeah.
equipment's already transferred over.
No, what I'm saying is, if you're saying you didn't start until 2004, you know, but me, right here it says, and like I say, maybe when I read this, maybe you modified it or something like that.
It hasn't been
and
modified.
That's fine.
No.
What document is that?
That's the old,
I have no idea who's got one.
I think that's the copy of the original interlocal agreement. Is that what you're looking at?
See, right here, it's got title to property, title and name of district, on or after January 1st, 2003, any equipment, vehicle, buildings acquired by the district by purchase, contribute, or otherwise, except as otherwise provided below, shall be titled in the name of the district. Okay? Then it says title Pacific Cases. The existing Delaware Township Fire Station located at 11 East Kansas Plant shall remain titled to Delaware. On the 10th anniversary date of this agreement, title to the building shall be transferred by Delaware to the district. You know? Well, I'm just saying, I mean, as far as you're saying it's 2004 is when this whole district started. Well, it couldn't be, because you can't sign the papers in 2004. It'd be the same thing as taking out saying, well, we're gonna start a company in 2 years, you know, and in 2 years, we'll sign the papers, you give us the money.
But John, but I'm confused now, where you going? It's apples or grapes?
Well, no.
Because to begin with, you're going back it was agreed upon by all three entities. What day it was exactly has nothing. All entities agreed to it.
Well,
Now, the 2003, if you're talking taxes, we don't collect taxes. The county did that. Whether it was 2003, the agreement was what you're saying, and when they did it, took effect January 2004.
That's when you moved in.
That's when they moved in.
But when the signature was on the documents, it was in 2003 in June.
Right.
The way that reads
So
is
I don't know
the
where
equipment
you
would
want to
be.
go with that, John.
Says when the county attorney, the state Attorney General, when they signed off, the date they signed off, so that he had to sign it off on 2003 to collect the taxes. And where I'm going with it is this, that when you start a thing, it don't make no difference. You say it's grapes or apples or whatever. What I'm saying is that when you show, what good is that if you don't stick with what I'm saying is, you know, I know it's going over, okay, that's fine. I just happened to ask and was reading one day and I said, well, in 2013, they're signing over, I didn't get signed over. I called this man up here, he told me 2004. I thought that was it until I started looking, you know. And I'm sure to get turned over. But what
I
I'm
think you
saying
meant
is, you have
2014.
2003, that's, if somebody modified, I don't see how any government entity or municipal can just in blue of water say, you got the taxes, but we're gonna start now, you know. According to the regular one, if it's been modified, that 2003 is when this fire district started. So my assumption is January of 2003 is when they should have had it.
The Attorney General signed it June 26th of 2003.
That's when
That's when the Attorney General, Phil Klein, right?
Correct, and I'm assuming it took some time to formulate the district and make changes.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, right now, in reality, right now, we're found out tonight, we're not gonna get ownership of the building. I mean, we thought we
See,
were.
That's another thing. too.
Equipment, we're gonna take over the Delaware truck, owned by Delaware Township, now will belong to the fire district. The equipment's already ours. So really, the only thing I'm concerned about is the building itself here.
Yeah.
But
And
as,
we're working on that. so.
date-wise, as you say, Attorney General signed June of 2003. Whether the three entities got together and decided, okay, let's start first of the year, whatever it was. In the document here, January 2014 is when Delaware relinquishes ownership of their property to the fire district. And that's it.
Well,
So-
then you modify the contract, basically.
No. It was always the understanding it was going to be January 2004 to January 2014.
Do you have that black and white?
We thought we did.
After the meeting, let's make sure you've got, looks like your copies are a little thin compared to, here's the original interlocal agreement, which, to my knowledge, has not been modified.
Well, that's fine. I want to make sure that High Prairie, if they're into it, then they get their, you know, they're gonna come by it, you know, when they're gonna come by. If it's January 1st, 2004, that's fine, you know. But
Well, if High Prairie loses, right now, High Prairie owns that building.
Well, no,
January
no.
1st, 2014, High Prairie loses that building, becomes ours.
Well, no, I understand that. What I'm saying is I want to make sure put it this way, if High Prairie out there had the main building and all this right here, and then Lansing and Delaware Township didn't have it, okay, you had one fire station right here, just like High Prairie, then if the agreement says it's turned over to such and such date, then that's what it should be, you know. So it doesn't make no difference to me if High Prairie, the whole agreement for them to come together was for everything to be one, okay? Actually now, it is one, okay? It
Right.
hasn't been one in 10 years.
Right.
But as of January 1st, it will be,
January 1st.
except for the monkey wrench with the building, but
Yeah.
we'll see what that works out.
You know, that, as far as that goes. But I want to make sure, because personally, myself personally, I mean, I think what we should have out there is a vote for people to vote on it if we want to do it. There was a select few, 4 select few, just like this here meeting we had the other day. Well, I wouldn't even knew about that meeting if that Pam Burton wouldn't have sent a letter, okay?
John, let us get through the meeting here and we can discuss this afterwards.
Well, no, that's.
What I wanna-
I understand what you're saying, and I just want to say, I think the fire district's doing a good job. I have no qualms about the, you know, fire protection out there. I think it's fine. You know, I had no qualms with Delaware, you know, as far as that goes.
Well, my next item here was the meeting that the board was allowed to come to at High Prairie, which I want to commend the board for all being present at their meeting. And these are items for discussion, so feel free, but my impression, hearing what's going on out there, that there is, as John's saying, a lot of variance of opinion on where High Prairie would like to be a few years down the road. What I was hearing also is, as of today, High Prairie does not have any ground for a fire station. They haven't got a consensus among their residents out there to build a fire station. To date, they have made no requests of this fire board. And I'm sure the board would be more than happy to help them collect data of any sort to go on with the project. But to date, we have had no requests from High Prairie. So to me, it looks like the citizens out there need to decide, what do you want to do? It's not our decision to tell High Prairie or Delaware or Lansing, you can or cannot build a fire station. You guys want to build an airport, you can build an airport.
Go ahead and build an airport.
It's got nothing to do with us, except if it's in the fire district, we may have to provide fire protection to it. But until High Prairie can make a decision and come to this board with a request of some sort, I say we're here for information gathering and to give out any information we can to the residents out there that may be needed. But we have no decision to make here as far as building of a fire station at High Prairie.
Well, no, I understand that, and I'm not really, as far as the fire station, what they're talking about out there, I mean, I'm not here for that, actually. I'm here for that.
Okay.
This has been, a lot of people don't come to these. I try to keep an eye on, and a lot of people have the mindset, and a lot of friends of mine out there in High Prairie have the mindset, where are you going there for, John? They're gonna do what they want to do. Not just you guys, what I'm saying, the entity. I'm talking about the county commissioners, you're talking about cities, they do, you might have the facts here. A lot of times they say, well, we don't need it, we're gonna do it.
Well, I would say at this point right now, the townships, High Prairie Township specifically, and Lansing for that matter, as of January are going to be gaining fire trucks, in that it's going to be under the fire district instead of owned by Delaware specifically. I mean, theoretically, Delaware could sell these trucks tomorrow. Until January 1st, they own them. But as of that period, High Prairie and Lansing will then add fire equipment to their inventory.
Well, actually, Delaware Township owns this building. I mean, what I'm saying, not per se.
But just like High Prairie owns the one out there.
Yeah, but Delaware Township, Lansing doesn't have any foothold actually in this. What I'm saying is, because it was Delaware, you had title to it. Delaware had
That's why
title.
Delaware has title to the trucks. That's right.
And the title was to the,
Yeah.
the building, per
Correct.
se.
The lease is
Yeah,
to
but
Delaware
Delaware
Township.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
right.
And
that's-
we lease it from Delaware.
yeah. Well, the 29th, I think they said out there that they were gonna have a meeting, to discuss what, if they wanna, pursue, a fire, a new fire station or something like that.
I'd encourage your neighbors to get there.
Well, that's kind of, I don't have a qualm about this board whatsoever. I just want to, I'm here for, kind of fact find, and that's what I'm
Excellent.
saying. If it's January of 2004, that's fine, as long as we get her done and
Sure.
everything's combined, that's it.
Any other comments on our meeting the other night? Just Jim?
I have a comment, and it's just a theory, but I have a theory that maybe you have to collect taxes in the year before you expend taxes. And this is something maybe our attorney, we could get our attorney to verify in the tax code,
No, we had to have all of our paperwork done.
which is his problem.
We had to have all the
They
paperwork.
taxed everybody in 2003 to have the funds available to expend in 2004.
Correct.
So, and that you pay ahead every year, so to speak. So I'm thinking that's probably it, but I don't know, it's just my theory. But if Rick knows for sure, but, I'm sure.
Well, my thing is that it really, it's mute now. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's mute, you know. You're saying January 1st, okay. Now, if January 1st rolls around and we ain't got the paper signed, then, you know, there you go again.
I believe we can feel confident.
Well, I wouldn't hold us to January 1st to the date,
But
but
no.
we're going to get it done in there.
This
Yeah.
is the first time I've been in a meeting.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they modified the contract or what, and I was just gonna say, well, if you modified it, why'd you modify it? What was the reason behind it? That's all I'm saying, as far as that goes.
And John, like we were talking last time we was out there, you watch what happens. We watch your tax dollars in this operation. We try to keep that mill levy as low as we can. If we raise it, it raises everybody's taxes.
No, I'm.
And then if you got other entities, whether it's the city or the Board of Education, they raise theirs, then it hits you. We try to keep ours there. Now, if we decided, this is just hypothetical, that you guys just decided you didn't want to build that other fire, but you wanted that fire protection out there to be better, and we hired what we were talking about earlier at the other meeting, then that just doesn't raise High Prairie, that raises Delaware and Lansing, because we're all a district and we all have to pay.
Yeah, all three entities.
Yeah.
Mill
Just not,
levy was
just
going
not High Prairie.
Well, no, that's, I understand that.
Okay.
I understood that from the part, and that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
When I was saying what I was saying out there, that it's just not, you know, I don't know a lot of people here in Lansing, but I know they don't want it, they're scratching too.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want their mill levy up, they're taxed out too, you know, and insured out, you know, as far as that goes.
Jeff.
and stuff.
Yeah, sorry, there's probably an opportunity for us to present some data to the townships, well, to all entities, about what do mill levies go up, what's, you know, just by building a building, by adding trucks, by adding manpower, what does each head count add to a mill levy? Because it's just by manning a full-time station that's not here, that's out there, I mean, you see your mills go up 75%, 70%. There'd be a lot of conversation around that, so we just need to kind of put all of that into a simple document that we can hand out to the townships, so all of the folks there, not just a few decision makers, can see that and make a good decision off of that.
And that's the bottom line. The board, if you look at our bylaws, we are here to support the fire district and chief with operations. A scenario comes up that an entity wants to build a fire department, want it manned. The bottom line, in my reading and interpretation of the bylaws, we could decide as a board that nice station, we choose not to fund or to man the station out there, meaning there's no vote of the people. This is a decision by this board.
Yeah.
So again, we're to look at what's best for the fire district.
So, Dean, if I could, so.
Yes.
Just so that I understand, if they would build fire station, and you decide to man it, then I think it was stated, all three entities would then have to fund that decision, even though that township voted to build the,
Well,
Well,
that's
technically,
basically correct, but it's not all three entities. It's just the fire district.
yeah. The fire
Lansing,
district-
Delaware, and High Prairie are part of the fire district.
True.
It's not, we're not getting money from the city, we're not getting money from Delaware, we don't get money from High Prairie. We get money from the fire district.
yes.
So
yes.
the residents of the fire district pay
Residents-
for everything.
Let me rephrase it. So all the residents of all three would pay for the support and upkeep of that new station
Yes.
that a small number decided to build, and the board.
No, that station would also support the rest of the district also.
True, I understand that. I mean, you have reciprocal.
No, it's not
support,
reciprocal, it's just like Leavenworth City has 3 stations.
Right,
It's not the station number 1 for the west people,
No, we're
and Station 2 for the north people.
We're saying the same thing.
They're all,
We're saying the same thing.
it's,
You've got it correct.
yes.
Yeah.
You
You
are
do,
correct.
okay.
Yes.
Basically, with the numbers we threw around
Yes.
before that meeting was our mill would go from 6.2 to 10.7
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
across.
those two,
Across all residents.
those six
Correct.
additional personnel out there wouldn't just stay out there.
No.
If we have a fire here in town, they're coming here in town.
I get that. I totally understand that.
Well, a lot of people don't. It's, well, they're gonna be out there. No, they're
No.
coming this way too, just like our guys head that way.
I get that.
Okay.
The increase in taxes, you are correct.
That's my point. It has nothing to do with support. I'm just talking straight money right now.
Right.
Taxes, what I'm saying is the decision to build, the start of that, would be done by a small minority that would impact the taxes of the majority.
Could, if the
Could,
board
with
approved.
the board's approval.
Right.
And as I understand it, I know only one person on the board, so don't take this wrong, but my understanding is the board's appointed and not elected.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
But the other side of it, what I try to bring out is those people that live outside those 214 people are paying the same taxes that the rest of the district pays and are not getting service.
That's not,
That's not true.
that's not true.
They're not getting the lower insurance ratings that everybody else
That
is.
is true.
That is true.
Yeah.
That I believe.
Yes.
But
They're
they are
getting the same service.
Yes, they're getting
They're getting the same service, just, and ISO requires, and John doesn't like ISO, and Garrett, I don't like ISO, but it's their ball game, it's their rules. We have to go by what ISO says, and we're trying to play by those rules.
I apologize. I'm just trying to,
No, you're fine, you're fine.
trying to understand
You've
and
got
put
the
it in,
gist. Yeah.
put it in dollars and cents and impact and decision makers.
And as far as I can tell, the only person around at the time of all this was Rick and Terry. That purpose of the...
Well, Jim Dyson and Virgil was here.
Well, township people, but I mean, as
So
far as
there's
for
four
discussion
of
right
us. There's
here,
four of us still here.
that the purpose of this agreement to provide the operation and funding of a fire district. And it doesn't say to get the ISO down to 8 across the
No,
fire district.
no.
It says to operate, provide for the operation and funding of a fire district.
Right.
Well, this is one thing I want to make sure for my point for this board. I don't want this board to take one thing like ISO and say, well, we're going to give, because my insurance is not as cheap as somebody, what do you got, 4 here?
Yep.
Okay, not as cheap as that, okay? But my personal feelings, okay, I'm for majority rules, but my personal thing is, I'm satisfied with what we got. I don't want no more tax, but I don't want this, I'd like to see this board not make a thing on one aspect of that, like the ISO, say, 5 miles, okay? Not taking into consideration the overall taxes like this gentleman said, that somebody out here is gonna take it, you know? And I keep hearing this ISO, you know, 5 miles thing, and my whole problem is that, like I say, I got problems, but I can't see putting and taking the money, because I'm looking down 10 years, 20 years down the road for my grandkids. I don't want to, I'm taxed out now, okay? And I'm not blaming the, you know, and everything. But I'm looking on down the line because I don't know how many firemen you'd have to have out there. Then if whoever's the chief, then you got so many people under you, you might have to have a raise. Then we gotta have this, we gotta have that. I don't want it to become a money pit out there, you know what I'm saying? Because was satisfied when, in High Prairie, when Delaware was just here itself, you know what I'm saying, as far as that goes. I have no qualms about the service out there whatsoever right now. You know, I feel safe, you know, and everything like that for what we have. But I want the tax line held, and I keep hearing this 5 mile thing, and, you know, my tax going, well, I talked to my insurance. My taxes ain't going down that much from 10 to 9.
Well, as I said earlier, having been to the meeting, and if anyone else has an opinion different,
I got
feel
one thing to say before you.
we,
John, you can bet you this board here is going to do the right thing for the whole district, not just for High Prairie. It's going to make sure Delaware and Lansing, we're going to do the right thing, period.
Well, Mr. Klemperer, he had and I think it was mentioned out there then that, I think it was the 29th or something, when they're gonna have another meeting or something out there. Or something like that.
Well, High Prairie has a meeting, their normal meeting every 3 months.
I thought.
It was January, right?
Yeah, January
It was
29th.
January. It's
January
yes,
29th.
yeah.
Well, like it was stated out there, you just stated it, that you're gonna come out there and you're gonna have how many men we're gonna have, what the mill levy would be approximately, and then, you got the ISO here, but I want all that stuff compiled, and so everybody can look at it and say, at a broad whole spectrum here, then taking it, because what I keep hearing is the ISO 5 mile thing, and you can't dump that kind of money in something on one aspect. You gotta look at it as a whole.
But
That's
correct
all.
me if I'm wrong, but absolutely you need that information. I think, though, it should come from your trustees. That you need to go to your township board and say,
Yeah.
how much is it gonna cost to put this station in? Okay, we've got that money in the bank. How much is it gonna cost to operate it?
We have to provide it to
Like I told you
them.
earlier, we will respond to a request from a township or the city,
They've already requested.
but we've had no requests.
Yeah,
I
there
thought they
hasn't-
did.
No. Although in that meeting, we did talk about providing
Some
information to them.
We said we would provide.
It's probably
But they don't have to come to this
talked a
meeting, is
lot
what I'm
about
saying.
reaction
time.
Dyson can come down and get.
What kind of
all the
reaction
information
time,
once.
though?
Oh, yeah, and take it
Which-
back to them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I say, to me, it's a High Prairie issue first. Number one, you don't have the land purchased.
Well, I don't know anything.
And if I
mean,
understand it correctly, there's only one spot you have to get everyone in that ISO. And if you don't get that one, there's no sense in building a station. But
so our township, the board there, they would be the ones, I thought you guys would be the ones to compile, since it's a district-wide compile.
Well,
the
we can-
mill levy, approximate mill levy to say, this is what your mill levy's going up, my mill levy in Lansing's going up.
And we'll provide that. I'm just saying that instead of having individual residents coming in and trying to get from the chief, that it'd be nice if you went to the board first and they say, give us the ISO, give us the mill increase, give us this information, send it back and they can disperse it.
The High Prairie Township officials has got to generate the requirements for the protection that the majority of the people out there need. And that's, from the building or not, the reaction time that the person way up in that corner would like to have, and that kind of thing. Then, based on those requirements, then we can determine, what we have to do, and the manning, maybe another truck or what have you, then that's where our, financial figures and all that come up, and then, and that's what we would drive our mill levy increase, that this board would have to approve.
Well, see, I didn't come in here for for that new station. I come in here for the 2003, the title thing, actually, what I'm saying, because my understanding is that the 29th of January is when they're gonna have another meeting. And my understanding is y'all are gonna be there, and that's what, when that to be discussed there as far as with them. Now, do you have a meeting before that?
Well,
We meet monthly.
No, but I'm talking about High Prairie.
well, that's gonna depend on Jim Dyson and those guys.
Well, I didn't know if they had one, a separate one for just High Prairie before the 29th, and then these come out, and then there's a feel of what it is, and then
Well, it would certainly make that meeting more productive if Jim and whoever citizens would like to try to get some kind of consensus out there about what y'all would like, and give it to us in time that we could assess it and determine what the financial impact's going to be.
You do have requirements out there to publicize the meeting. I mean, they've got requirements to meet.
See,
They-
we're
they
not
can meet one at a
running, we're
time.
not running High Prairie, and we don't, no way can we
No, no.
start
I'm not
dictating.
insinuating
Yeah.
that you're running high pressure or anything, and as far as that goes. But the board, I couldn't take this to High Prairie. You know what I'm saying? The title, the concern I had here, I couldn't take it to High Prairie. Because High Prairie.
No, I understand.
not
From what I'm
gonna,
seeing, all we have is the original document here.
Yeah,
The date
I'm
we've
not-
got.
yeah.
County commissioners probably give
As
you a
far
better
as
answer
that,
than
as far
we
as
can.
this goes, to me, it's mute. You've
Right.
answered my question. January next 2004.
14.
14.
Or
14.
14.
2014, then it'll be, well, if it's January, February, whatever,
Yeah.
it'll be, take care of
Correct.
stuff like that. That's what I'm, as far as that goes.
Okay, any other items for discussion?
What about a working session? Having one over the next couple months? There's probably a response time discussion we probably need to have.
I would say of the subject, if Jim would get with you on information they would like, then yes, we probably should get together and,
Not just necessarily for High Prairie, just in general, response time, areas of opportunity, utilization of the current station we have, just kind of have some, board discussion on how do we, because the biggest thing that came out of the meeting was some energy around response time. Less so around the building, there's still some energy around that. That's a whole nother there's a lot of data for that, but at least response time, sitting down and coming up with some creative solutions. That doesn't mean throwing money at the solution, it just means that might end up being where we go, adding some additional funds, but understanding how do we utilize that station better than we are today. Taking a look at our current manpower, how can we get more creative there?
and
Maybe
we
some
talked about that.
payment of some of the-
Maybe staffing Station 2 with full.
Yeah, that would eliminate a lot
Options
of, I
like
think,
that.
of the concerns a lot of people had
We're
out
jumping
there
on
was
staffing
this-
station 2, and
Well,
that's
I mean,
just,
the status of, it's 25 minutes to respond to my house. Well, if we had staffing at Station 2, we just cut
you've
that time
immediately
down to
jumped
half.
to a 6 mil increase or a 4
Yeah,
mil
but I mean,
increase.
we're talking about
I think we can
staffing.
or we could talk about taking one of the full-times off each of the shifts today here and move them out there.
Then I have one out there and one out here, and
And
that's a
you
safety issue.
backfill with volunteers.
Can't do it.
It's a discussion, yes, what do you mean we can't do
I
that?
can't get volunteers to come in now. You heard the gentleman out in High Prairie the other day says you're not gonna get volunteers from out here.
I
can't
think
get
the
them from
whole
here.
discussion around volunteerism is probably gonna be a strong conversation, so we probably need to have a working session around it.
Okay.
And I would like, I think first we have to find out what, as Jim was saying, what is High Prairie wanting? Do they want their own station out there north end of the township? Are they wanting better response time? Are they wanting the ISO to go down? What is the priority?
Well, my understanding is if you're 1,000 feet from a hydrant, you're down anyway.
Correct.
So, I don't know, I know the water pressure out there, in Neil, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, have you guys ever added, or, I don't know what they have to have, but you could achieve the ISO thing by, I don't know about hydrants, as far as that goes, without the 5 mile thing. Because my ISO is down from a 10 to a 9 because of hydrants. Which I didn't even know that.
I'm still trying to figure how that lady had such high pressure, she had to put a reducer
Yeah,
on her
that's
house.
crazy.
How does that happen?
Right at the end of
close
the
to a
line.
tower.
At the end of the line,
end of the
yeah.
Close to a tower.
Yeah.
I think Jeff's got a good point, though, as far as, Jim and I, they got a lot of stuff going on, and can you imagine the problem they're gonna have getting a consensus out there? But without trying to show that we're dictatorial, or, we could lay some options out that they could use as guidance to get some kind of thing going. I mean, in other words, it's like an architect maybe. Okay, well, here's plan 1. Oh, yeah, well, we could cut down on the size of this living room and add something,
Well, I like the work session idea, but
Yeah.
I'd also like to know what are their goals? What are they trying to achieve? And that will depend on what solutions we try to come up with.
So that's what I'm saying, we might could propose 2 or 3 options, couching that kind of thing. In other words, option 1 would be, we can provide overall response time of such and such by doing this. Option 2 would be, you know, maybe something a little less. And you could phase it between, you know, in 2014, we could do this, and then in 2015, we could do some more. But we're not telling them, you know, this is just a bunch of things that we feel like we would have the capability to do, but we're not gonna do anything, you know, let's look at these options and see how they fit in your scheme.
But at this point, I would like to put out data,
That's it.
facts.
I agree.
If we start putting options in, then it's like we're going along with option B,
Right.
and maybe we're not. So I think right now to start, the facts, response times, calls, that type of thing. And then let us know the goals of High Prairie.
Well, I know myself, I know a lot of guys, a lot of them out there, and they're in the same position me. They're satisfied with what's out there, they don't want no more tax. So, you can put all out, this is just me speaking, but I know a lot of other ones out there, okay? So, I don't care what options you put on that table. You could have a go leave, I don't care. I don't want no more tax. I'm satisfied with what this man's doing. I have no qualms about it, and I'm not the only one. There's a lot of them out there.
But you understand, John, it doesn't matter if we get 6 High Prairie people coming in here saying, we want protection, we want this, this, and this, until the board comes in, the trustees from the township,
Well-
make a request of the fire district. We're not making a decision.
The understanding, what I got from that one, and that out there, is that, who was in the room there, I think the majority of them want something out there, okay? But the guys that, well, don't come to these things, I mean, they're paying them taxes, and, I mean, they're going with the same thing we, we're taxed out. And it's not just here, it's the county commission, you know, the state, the city, the federal, you know, and everything. And it seems like every time you turn around, we're getting in the pockets, you know, and stuff like that.
Well, John, if you don't want, it's your township, so if you feel that way and you think the 214 on the north end want it, and everybody else in your district, that's up to you to start pounding on the doors and say, hey, you guys better be at the next meeting. You can't do anything unless you're involved, unless you go.
That's easier said than done.
Well,
And
then-
there's hard guys, and they've been, and rightfully, I'm gonna be honest, rightfully so. You can cut it any way you want with a knife, rightfully so. I've been to a lot of county meetings, I've been to a lot of stuff. And you have them facts on that table, and it's, hey buddy, oh well. And that's happened, you know, many, many times.
But you understand,
And I-
if High Prairie Township comes to this meeting and says, we want 2 fire stations manned north end of the township, that's what we consider.
I understand,
They should voice what the residents out there are wanting.
I understand that. No, I do understand that.
But in terms of the township, I think and I'm just speaking, listening, even if they come, I think it'd be better, rather than to give them options, first to ask them, what are your priorities? No matter what they come to you with first, and then from those priorities, then present them with the options.
I don't think, yeah, well, I think we're at data only. as
Yeah,
far
data,
as-
no option.
No options.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you're right.
And it's,
no option.
this board has a very good history of being very frugal with our mill levy. So we take every consideration that the chief has, that anyone has. And, I mean, he's probably gets more frustrated with us, or me mostly, but the board, just with pushing a lot, you know? And so he wants to keep people safe, and that's his goal, and our goal is to
That should be
make sure
his
we
goal.
make good decisions for the fire department.
And everybody knows, everybody. And I said it at the first of the meeting, we only control a little bit of your tax dollar. The cities and the county and the state, that's where you was coming from. We tried to keep ours down. As everybody knows, the mill levy just jumped way up because they're building a brand new high school out there. And had we, and we didn't raise it up, what, the last 2 years now? We pretty much kept it level. Had we had to raise it up, and there's gonna come a time that when that's gonna happen, because you can't stay there forever. had we done that, and then the board come in there, then the taxpayers were a little bit more upset because it would have raised a little bit more than what they thought, not just for the school, but for the fire protection. And we're gonna get into that. When they build a new school, we still gotta give them the fire protection.
And that's what's frustrating, is when you have another entity say, you can't raise your mill levy because we're raising ours.
Yeah.
And that's what we're having, these people are facing with their entities. Don't raise your mill levy because we're raising our mill levy. We have to raise our mill levy too. We have to fund what they're putting in.
Right.
So,
Well, one of my goals was to have this meeting last less than an hour.
blew that one.
So, any board member concerns? Jeff? Charlie?
No.
Lisa? Jim? Only one I have, the gauntlet has been thrown down. There is a chili competition, December 13th at the City Hall. The firemen have been challenged to come up and compete.
The cops will cry again. December when?
13th, it's a Friday, I believe.
Yeah.
Sign this.
Yes.
And
Pass it down.
Chief Wayman has put that on, and it's a fun thing. It's for the employees, but fire district employees / volunteers are more than welcome to participate. There are some rules, very loose. I think it's 2 pounds of meat minimum, and
Doesn't say what kind.
that's it. No, does not.
Yeah,
other
you
thing I wanna-
don't want to eat the water treatment, guys, it's chilling.
Just want to say,
Yeah, burn it.
again, the fire department did a great job with their haunted firehouse. The kids had a good time.
We
there.
had 206 kids.
Oh, that's big time.
We had
Nice.
big-time kids this year.
That's good.
And it was kind of nice,
And that's money donated by the firemen. It was not, did not come out of our budget. The firemen donated all the candy.
That's big. That's nice.
the museum had a open house over there too the same night, so it's kind of cool. So, motion to adjourn.
I so move.
I'll second that.
Jim Westmoreland,
Get there.
Oh, yeah.
Lisa Snodgrass.
Yes.
Charlie Shoemaker,
Yeah.
Jeff Clamp,
Yes.
Dean Moberg.
Yes, thank you all very much.
Thank you for listening.